John, our very last team that we're talking about right now is a team that you, very much like other people that I hear on the internet, love.
I'm bullish.
Absolutely love. You're bullish on them. I am on the fence. I don't see what everybody else sees, apparently.
Yeah.
This is, I'm no stranger to this situation.
Yeah.
However, I still don't see it, and I think that's why Jordan Love doesn't have a new contract right now.
Oh, okay, all right.
We are talking about the Green Bay Packers. Tell me your thoughts on what happened last year, John.
They were unsuspecting, and this is why I want to ask you about that, because I thought it was pretty clear-cut Jordan Love's game. I thought what more could he have done for you to say, all right, yeah, now I'll give him the contract he deserves?
Do not get me wrong. I love Jordan Love. I think he's a great quarterback. I think he showed us what he can do in 8 games.
In his first season, he threw for 4,159 yards and 32 touchdowns.
How I feel about this. You can't call it his first season. You can call it his first season starting.
Yeah,
but you can't call it
his first season. That's his first
season. He's had time. He has had a lot of time to develop.
Yeah.
It's great. I don't think you're wrong about Jordan Love. The contract comment comes to do with, I don't know if the Packers organization has seen enough of sustainability in his game to warrant paying him a market contract.
Really? But man, he took them all the way to the divisional round. They nearly beat the 49ers as well.
You know what a market contract is right now, though.
Right.
You're either getting an absurd amount of money guaranteed.
Yeah.
Or a long contract.
Yeah, but we just had this discussion about Dak Prescott. To me, it's the same thing.
Dak has done it year over year.
You're not going to be able to draft a new quarterback through the draft.
You're signing him. But I think Green Bay is obviously not hoping that they have a bad year.
Yeah.
If they happen to have a bad year, all of a sudden, that contract negotiation probably drops at least 2 seasons on the guarantee. So it gets them off the hook.
If they have a bad year, though, it's not going to be because of Jordan Love.
No, but you can blame some of that on him, right? What I'm saying is,
I think it'll be.
If they have a great. So the market contract that he's looking for right now is going to be somewhere in the ballpark of 7 years, 8 years?
No, it'll be 5. So the contract everyone's getting at the moment, it's the one that Joe Burrow got. It's the one that Trevor Lawrence just got. It's
so
5 years. It's 5 years, $225 million.
Right.
It's about $55 million a year. And
a year.
I
guaranteed.
I don't know that it's guaranteed. It is, but it's around there. But I think Jordan Love is worth that.
You're probably not wrong. However, once again, if you can shave over 5 years to 7 years, and you can shave off $5 million every single year, where does that money go?
Yeah. There's always they're backdated. Yeah.
Yeah, they have an opportunity right now to gamble, and if he has a rougher year, they have more reason to not sign him to that market contract. Now, if he performs, you sign him to the market contract. Yeah. It's a good thing what they're doing, and they're not signing him. However, this team scares the hell out of me when it comes to consistency. I didn't see it on the field. I didn't see a team that every single week I felt really confident saying,
sure,
this team's going to show up and win.
Sure.
They surprised me a whole hell of a lot of times.
Yeah.
But even in those games, it still didn't really feel confident. It came down to the final quarter, and I was like, I don't know what's going to happen here. You know?
Lots of games come
down.
Not
like the Lions. It's not like the Lions, though.
Yeah, so they got off to a really slow start, the Packers. If you look weeks 1 through till 8, they were 2 and 5. Really bad start of the season, and they were not covering.
Maybe a bad taste in my mouth.
Then a lot of things changed for them. They then covered the spread basically for the rest of the season. So they had a bad game against the Giants. Do you remember that Monday night primetime doubleheader? It was
awful.
Titans and Dolphins and Giants and Packers.
It was the worst. That was the worst primetime schedule.
And then the Giants won, and no one saw that coming. They lost to the Bucks. That's a bad loss. And they lost to the Panthers. So they had 3 losses in a row and was sort of starting to fall apart. But for the most part, they were winning a lot of those games over the back half of the season. They went like 6-3. They made it all the way to the divisional round. They had to play the 49ers. So I think Jordan Love was playing phenomenal football. And this is, I think, the holes for the Packers are at receiver. Like,
they've got 5 talented receivers. What are you talking about?
They've got 5 guys. Wouldn't you rather? Okay, let's compare Joe Burrow, who we're talking about. Let's like making the same amount of money.
Okay,
he has Jamar Chase, Tee Higgins. He's just had Tyler Boyd, and now he has Jermaine Burton. Not too bad. Let's look at Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence has been playing with Calvin Ridley. He's been playing with Christian Kirk has been fairly good. Evan Ingram has been a great tight end for them. And now they've
Zay Jones. It was not that good.
Think about the best receiving. And then Jordan Love has to play with Jayden Reed, who, by the way, was a rookie last season, who just happened to have a fantastic season. Now, he was really, really good, of course. And he was really
great this year
at North Carolina as well when he played with Drake May. But Romeo Doubs I think he's just whatever. He's just a guy.
He's a guy.
And I think Christian Watson is just insanely...
Your hate for Christian Watson blows my mind.
Insanely overrated. He's insanely overrated. Wouldn't you rather have Devontae Adams at his prime throwing the ball to?
Kidding me? Of course, yes.
Get Jordan Love, a fucking alpha receiver. Dak Prescott has CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks and, Jake Ferguson.
This is part of the charm, though, of what the Packers are doing. The Packers, when they go into 5 wide, they have a whole bunch of wide receiver 2.5s. They're not wide receiver 3s. They're not wide receiver 2s. They are, it's a whole room of a bunch of guys.
Dontavian,
they're all really good guys, though. Yeah, he was their most explosive player. You are right. He was the most statistically. He was the most explosive player. But
Bo Melton was catching, but he was like a Seattle Seahawks practice squad guy. They took him, and he went off for 130 yards. Can you imagine if that was like Jalen Waddle? Come on.
No, right. No, of course. Look, don't get me wrong. And I think they're teaching a brand of receivers over there that is very possession oriented. And I think that does stem from Aaron Rodgers when he was there and what Jordan Love has learned from Aaron Rodgers. Some of those back shoulder throws at the sidelines, running up and getting Romeo Doubs. This is where he puts on a clinic, 6 yards to the out and just, and they're quick. There was a game last year where he caught 4 on the final drive that were all just down the field, same thing over and over again. But when you can do that and you can do it with success, there's nothing wrong with that. Yep. You've got guys that are good at their respective position for what they're being asked to do. And I like that. I hate it for fantasy purposes. I hate it for stat purposes. But you can't say that it's a bad room. They just know their assignments really well. That's a good receiving core for what they're trying to do.
But we're talking about winning.
Put a number 1 out there. Sure. Go get them. Get them.
Why didn't they get Jerry Jeudy? He was available for nothing.
A lot. Steve Smith would say that Jerry Judy's just a guy too, though. But what I'm saying here is that they've got some really good players playing their positions well. What they're being asked to do. And that's more than can be said about half the league, So that I honestly think that that's one of their biggest strengths as a team is that they have a wide receiver room that knows their job. And I mean, hey, like I said, I hate it for trying to pick which one is going to do what each game. I do. I fucking hate it. But I do think it's a strength. And I think it's something that is an asset for Jordan Love when he knows that a guy is going to be doing a certain thing on a play and he does it every single time. That's all you can ask for. Smart receivers. So, I mean, yes, okay, go get AJ Brown, put him on the team, and it would make a big difference, right? Go get Tyreek Hill, it would make a big difference.
But we would be talking about them like they're Super Bowl bound.
Would we?
Yeah, well, they got to the divisional last year. I think if any, I don't see them taking a step back. I see them going forward.
I don't know if they're going to go forward. I think they're going to probably stay the same. I don't know. There's something there. There's something there that I just don't like, and I don't know what it is yet. And maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just me being me. But there is something there that I don't like, that I don't feel
Sure.
confident
Yeah.
in every single game. And I think it stems from the defensive side. But I also, yeah, I don't know. I don't trust him to go down the field and score at will.
I
I don't.
I really like bringing in Josh Jacobs. I think
That's a
he's had a
wicked play.
really resurgent career in Green Bay, and they signed him to a decent deal as well, man.
Yep.
22 million over like
That also
4 years.
helped kick off the market for running backs. Like
And what
that's a good deal
it
for
was,
both sides.
but what I also really loved is so Aaron Jones, who they let go, is now in Minnesota. He got exactly the same contract. He got 22 million over 4 years. Josh
That's crazy.
Jacobs
He's a much better running back.
he's also 3 years younger than Aaron Jones. Like,
Yeah.
another like just I think it was a great management of contracts by the Packers. They drafted Marshawn Lloyd. I'll get to their NFL draft right now, actually. So first round they went with Jordan Morgan at tackle. Jordan Morgan was kind of a bit whatever. He's out of Arizona. Adrian Cooper at linebacker. They did need to bolster the linebacker group out of Texas A&M. They had a really good defense. Javon Bullard at safety. And then in round 3, they went Marshawn Lloyd and Tyron Hopper as well out of Missouri at linebacker again. So that was really the weakness of the Green Bay Packers last season as well, was that linebacker. A lot of teams were running all over them, having a lot of success.
And short yardage success.
Yeah, Jaire Alexander missed a bit of time last season as well, but when he came back, he was on. They've added, they brought in Xavier McKinney. I think that'll be interesting at free safety. And they also brought in Rashan Nixon from the Raiders. So that'll also be interesting as well. Quay Walker at linebacker. He really needs to
an absolute beast, though.
But they've got first round picks everywhere. So Quay Walker was the first round pick. He hasn't quite reached that level yet. Rashawn Gary has been playing all right. Preston Smith they brought in, and Kenny Clark as well at nose tackle. So
there were some games that I watched of them where I was like, who just chased that guy down?
Yeah.
And every time it was Quay.
Yeah.
He was a hunter. He did. He did. But when he was flying, there, like I said, there was like countless times over multiple games where I was so surprised. I was like, who the hell is that guy? And I was like, oh fuck, it's Quay Walker. By like the 4th time I said that to myself, I was like, it's got to be Quay Walker.
Yeah,
he looked faster than the running back. Like he was hunting guys down.
Yeah, he's a speed guy.
He is. And I think that's a very valuable asset when you got a guy that can chase someone, because in that division, if you're going to compete with the top team in that division,
we just talked about him,
slated to get 2,000 yards on the ground, having Quay Walker is a great asset.
Let's see if they can stop him.
It's a great asset. So I don't know. I think obviously I think he'll perform really well this year doing what he's being asked to do. But where do you think they got better this year? Like, what do you think was the best pick there?
So look, their drafts have always been a bit average, I found. So Lucas Van Ness as well was their other edge. They drafted in last year's draft, and he was a first-round pick. I would be interested to see if he actually takes any sort of step forward. And their line is absolutely fine as well. Tight ends are fine. So this is the thing. It's just like all over the roster. It's just like, yeah, it's good. We'll see. Yeah, it's good. We'll see. Like, there's no like standout other than like, thank God. And this is why I say Jordan Love bailed them out of so much last season. I think he made them look a lot better than what they actually were.
I agree with that statement. I think the tight ends really made him look good too.
You bailed him out on a lot of times.
I do. Third down, the amount of third down catches from both of them. And I mean,
last season, was it Luke Musgrave that you were?
Yeah. I'm a big Luke Musgrave fan. If you watch the film, like I get it, where people can turn around and say like, oh, he was underwhelming or whatever. Like, I just don't think he gets enough respect for what he's doing on the field. But when you watch him on third down on the scramble plays and that connection, dare I say, it is the young development of what you watch in Kansas City.
Yeah.
It's a young development of that. It's when the play breaks down, that's where a guy like Luke Musgrave actually becomes an extremely good asset for Jordan Love.
He does. There were a lot of times where he leaked out on those scramble plays and he was
just
wide open.
And Musgrave, big body, straight up high point in the
spectacular catches. Yeah.
Some spectacular catches. And when you have a relationship like that where you just like, put it up, Luke's going to catch it. You know? The same thing that happens with Travis Kelce. It's like, get open. If you're in the vicinity of the ball, you're catching. I know you are.
Yeah.
And if you can develop that with those tight ends, if you can really develop that, and that to me is a pretty powerful thing. I really like that connection that he has with the tight end group. I thought I saw a better connection with Musgrave than I did with Kraft. Kraft was, I think, the better route runner, but the better football player was Musgrave.
Yeah,
and that
baller. Yeah.
Yeah, he was more of a baller and an offensive-minded baller too.
Yeah.
His blocking was not good last year, and he got shit on quite a bit by the coaching staff, but for lack of assignment. But I think his strength is coming off the assignment, right? It's that relationship that he's going to develop, and I think that that's going to keep growing. And he'll get better at blocking. He'll get better at all the other stuff. The natural connection that he has there with Jordan Love, I think that keeps growing, and I'm excited to see it. I am excited for this offense. I really, really am. I don't know why I still feel like this team is not going to win the Super Bowl. Like, I don't think they don't have the it.
But we talked about it. Like, I want them to trade for, like, Tee Higgins. Bring in Tee Higgins from the Bengals.
That'd be a great pick.
Completely changes the entire dynamic of this offense.
Maybe for the worse, though.
Nah, man. Tee Higgins, Jayden Reed. You've got Christian Watson as like your Z guy burning down the field. I reckon that's where it's at. Dontavian Wicks in the slot. Josh Jacobs, running back. Like, I just think, and Marshawn Lloyd just pounded in. That's where
Marshawn Lloyd's a beast.
This team going. Yeah. I actually don't like Marshawn Lloyd really at all. I thought that his tape at USC was very like, He tries to go to the outside too much when it's not there, and he couldn't cut it back in like we see, the greats do it, like, Trey Benson was doing it last year. Right. We talk about Bijan Robinson in the Atlanta Falcons bit. Like, these elite
level of speed.
Yeah, Marshawn Lloyd is just kind of like, he tries to hit a hole, he takes a gamble. His vision's not that good, so more often than not, it loses. And then
let me ask you a question right now, though, that should solidify your answer, and everybody who's listening, the answer for this backfield. Who would you rather have? Marshawn Lloyd or A.J. Dillon?
I've never liked A.J. Dillon. I've never been an A.J. Dillon guy.
There's your answer. Okay, so that's the answer. You like Marshawn Lloyd.
I'll take Marshawn Lloyd 10 out of 10.
There you go. Okay, so we've made a good decision at running back. That's how they view it, right? You had an opportunity. You didn't want to invest early in the running back.
I get it, and it's a fourth round pick.
On a free agent. You didn't want to go out and spend it on a fourth or on a free agent. You had an opportunity to take a guy that will do A.J. Dillon's job better than A.J. Dillon did his job.
Jesus, yeah.
And you don't have to pay him. So, fuck it. They made a good decision.
Season win total 9.5. Let's get into these futures.
That's right on the cusp where I see this team being.
Yeah, 9.5. So they open the Brazil game Friday night football, actually, against Philly. That's going to be a really fucking good game. They're 1.5 point underdogs, and the over-under at the moment is 48.5. So love that.
Scoring game.
They have to play the Colts. I think the Colts are going to be sneaky good. We're going to talk about them next week. They play the Titans. I think the Titans are going to be sneaky good. And then Minnesota, the Rams, the Cardinals, and then the Texans. So a few very winnable.
That's tough. There's a few winnable in there, but that's a tough schedule.
Yeah.
That's a tough schedule. I mean,
they've actually got a pretty good schedule.
Every time we both hear Arizona, we both just kind of make the same reaction. You're winning that game. Yeah, you're winning that game. What if Arizona's all right? You know?
I know.
And that scares me for this schedule because divisional games are always a toss-up. Like, depending where Minnesota ends up with their quarterback situation is
Yeah.
going to is going to give a little bit more light on, how that game's going to
Yeah,
go.
well, it's going to
But
be Sam Darnold, but I don't know by week 4.
they're going to beat the piss out of the Vikings if it's Sam Darnold, I think. But
They'll beat the piss out of him as JJ McCarthy too.
yeah, maybe. But at least if that's like JJ McCarthy's first game and you don't
And
have
I
any
like
film,
JJ. Like he's my dynasty quarterback. He's my dynasty starting quarterback.
the sneaky thing is when you're preparing for a game and you don't know anything about the quarterback, that is kind of like that's the only hope that I see Minnesota having in
Yeah,
that
but let
game.
me give
Anyway,
you the best teams that they face the entire schedule. So they have to play the 49ers week 12.
yeah.
They play the Houston Texans week 7. They play Philly week 1.
Mm.
Other than Detroit, I don't actually see any other tough matchups here. So if you're giving me 9.5 as the over under for the
You're saying you see five losses potentially there.
I see like 5 losses, 6 losses, 7. So they're going to need to get like 9-7, 9-8, 10-7, whatever it is. They're going to be somewhere around there.
Yeah, you know what? When you break it down like that, John,
Yeah.
you're a good salesman. That
I like over
seems
9.5.
Yeah, me too. I like
You
over 9.
like the Rams, don't you? They could.
Yeah, they're sneaky good for me. Yeah. I think that the Rams are going to have 10 wins this year. 11, maybe.
Okay.
But anyway, so we're not talking about the Rams. But that's going to be a tough game for the Packers.
Yeah. So I'm going to be breaking down the Brazil game as well coming up soon so we'll talk about that. But as far as futures picks go, what are we looking at here? I like Jordan Love for passing.
Mm-hmm.
I like Josh Jacobs for rushing.
Okay.
I like Jayden Reed as well. I would be interested to see what Jayden Reed's lines are, though. So
let me pull it up.
Jordan Love passing, Josh Jacobs rushing, Jayden Reed receiving.
Jordan Love for his passing is. I had it and then I left the screen. Now it's making me scroll. 3,900.
Beautiful. Actually that might be sneaky bad.
Might be sneaky bad.
Yeah. They've gone to 3,900 because they're trying to sell it as not 4,000, if that makes sense.
Touchdowns are 27.5.
Okay, so he had 4,100 last year and he had 32 touchdowns and he had a really slow start as well. Now, fuck that. Give me over 3,900 passing yards for Jordan Love. What was the Josh Jacobs and the Jayden Reed?
I'll let you know the Jayden Reeds. Jayden Reed is 848.91.
Okay, he had 800 last year.
And his receiving touchdowns are 6.
6. And he had 8 receiving touchdowns last year.
That's
interesting. I don't like either of those just because I'm concerned about Christian Watson. I'd be concerned about Romeo Doubs as well.
We're going to go ahead and look for the running back. Josh Jacobs, 950.5 yards.
That's a lot.
I'd be more interested in seeing his touchdowns, and if it is under 10, I will take it.
950 is a lot.
It is.
You don't think Marshawn Lloyd's going to be punching it
7.5 touchdowns for Josh Jacobs. Okay. I see multiple games where Josh Jacobs gets 2 touchdowns in them.
Yeah, man. Well, he plays the Seahawks. He plays the Cardinals. So there's your 2 games.
There it is. Give me the over 7.5 touchdowns.
All right. Give me over 3,900 passing for Jordan Love. I think this is going to be a great year for him. I think he's going to get right.
I hope you're right. I really hope you're right. 3,900 sounds about right for me. I support your pick, John. I support it.
Thank you.
Support my Josh Jacobs pick.
I do like it. 7.5 is a nice line
for rushing.
For rushing. Yeah, I do. I do because they've got a fairly favorable rushing schedule, and I think he's going to be. I think he's going to be like rejuvenated in a new offense on a good team finally as well.
Yep.
Marshall and Lloyd will
And
take a long
short
time.
yardage stuff. Like Jordan Love's not
Yeah.
rushing those 2 yard. Like if you're running the ball.
Yeah. I can see Marshall and Lloyd having the Tank Bigsby year last year where everyone thinks Tank Bigsby is going to be this guy that comes in and takes touches away from Travis Etienne, and he actually just ends up not being very good at all.
Next year. Not the first year.
Yeah.
Next year.
Yeah.
But I also think later in the season, you'll probably see that when Josh Jacobs starts getting fatigue.
Yeah.
They're going to really want to come out and start strong and try and win as many games.
I don't know, man. Josh Jacobs doesn't really fatigue. He usually is a 17-game like pounder. You're
still gonna take you're not gonna feed him the ball 23 times by week 15. Like you're just not gonna do it, right,
dude? You wouldn't remember this, but the Raiders played the Seattle Seahawks in like week 15 a couple of years ago, and we needed to win it to make the playoffs. And Josh Jacobs just destroyed us.
Ran for 30 times for 190.
I need to find this game because that line was just, it was like league winning. And I mean, we already knew that the Seahawks defense was really bad. Fuck, which game was it? Was it last year? No, it was the year before. Josh Jacobs rushed for 1,653 yards that year.
Yeah, that was an anomaly for Jacobs, I think.
It was year is what it was for him. Yeah. And week 11 against the Seahawks, 33 carries, 229 yards,
33 carries in a game.
6
for
receptions.
One guy.
6 receptions, 74 yards, and another 2 touchdowns. He scored 4 touchdowns. He scored 300 scrimmage yards. That's what I'm saying. This game's burned in my brain.
Yeah.
You can say like, by the end of the season, he might be wearing down. No, man.
That was week 11, though. That was week 11. What I'm saying is
week 12, 26 carries, week 13, 27 carries, week 14, 22 carries. Like
he's not that same running back though, right? So
I think he is. I think he is.
I don't know. I mean, you know what? Let's just go. Yeah, sure. Let's just go with that. I'm still all for it. I don't know about the 950. That seems a little steep for me, but
yeah, that's too much.
But the 7.5 touchdowns. Fuck yeah. 8 touchdowns for him. He got 4 in a game there. Yeah. So here's what I'm saying. There's going to be multiple games where he's scoring 2. Yeah. Multiple. So if he has 2 of those, then he gets 4. That's already half of the touchdowns in 2 games.
Yep.
Yeah, he's doing it. He's doing
7.5. Nice. I like it.
Yeah.